All right, everybody. Welcome, good morning, and welcome to Q&A here on the Dice Tower with Tom Vasel, August 18th, 2025. It is the first time I've done this since Gen Con, since before Gen Con, actually. So welcome back, everybody. I guess I did one on the drive to Gen Con. That's the last Q&A I did. Hey, it's Q&A time. Some good things have happened. I am finally divested of Homestead, Florida. Not that I dislike the place. I liked it a lot. But our houses and the old studio has been sold. They're gone. They're someone else's now. So now we focus on continuing to build here. And there's still stuff that's happening because of the move and everything. But we're kind of slowly getting into gear. We're planning the RPG to come back and other videos and things like that. We're making a lot of plans for the World Series of Board Gaming coming up, and Essen, the Spiel Fair at Essen, and the Dice Tower Retreat is happening in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of things we're getting ready for, but a lot of different reviews. So it is good to see you. Oh, Josh just said, did everything go smoothly with the other house sale? Oh, not even remotely. Nothing was smooth. And in fact, like with our house, my personal house sale that we sold, we closed on Monday of last week, and we got the money at 4:52 on Friday. Who knows? They kept just finding ways to delay giving us that money. But yeah, so the move is over. We're here, and that's that. Let's see. Well, there's no questions here. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will attempt to answer them. A lot of reviews we did over the past week, Vantage being the biggest one. One of our more, not device reviews, because that sounds like we argued the whole time, but definitely different opinions on that one. And then lots of other games. We're trying to gallop through these games as fast as we can. Obviously, there's just so many to go through and play. But yeah. Are we not doing backer shout-outs at the beginning of shows anymore? Oh, it's happening. We're getting that list together, and you will see that happen very soon, actually. So keep that in mind. Let's see. What else is happening? Well, we have a live play tomorrow. And, whoops, I need to... Well, I need to go get my phone. Give me a second. I'll be back. Talks amongst yourselves. Did you enjoy that conversation? Alrighty. Normally I would not run and grab my phone, but I needed to let somebody in to my new gate. Go figure. Weird. That almost never happens. Alright, questions. Was there a game that surprised you with how hot it was at Gen Con? 12 Rivers was hotter than I expected it to be. But no, other than that, I think it seemed pretty normal. Any news in the Dice Tower PAX Unplugged plans yet? At this point, you should assume we're not going. We have been paying, and I'm not trying to fall into the category of, oh, woe is us, right? But we've been paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on tariffs, on all these promos that we've been getting for our Dice Tower, the Game Found project. And this was money I was not expecting to have to pay. That's a ton of money, and it's just straight up coming out of my pocket. It's actually not very good at all, frankly, that we're having to pay all this money. But that stretch goal we got to the Simpson Appeal to PAX, I cannot in good conscience spend more money to do that when we've fallen short of not only that stretch goal, but probably the one before it. So it might, Eric Summer will be there, but I doubt others will be there at the point. I convinced my wife that Dice Tower East is a great idea for a family trip. When do tickets go on sale so I can get them before she changes her mind? Camille will have my head, but I really don't remember when they're going on sale. It's October, maybe? Been watching some loader videos. I don't know. I remember the mustache. Any plans on a new facial hairstyle? No, not at the moment. I don't know why. I just... a new style, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old for a new style. Who knows? Oh, older videos. Yeah, I'm just not trying to get one. How do you feel about box lift? That was the main reason I passed on the Vantage grids. Yeah, I guess that is a kind of a thing, right? If you put those in the box, you're going to have that box lift, which isn't a huge problem for me because I use those box bands and that would hold it closed. I don't love it. They also come in their own box so you can keep it separate there. What we're talking about, folks who might not know, Vantage is a game that comes with a gazillion cards, but you can, Stonemaier sells an extra boards that have the characters in them that you can place the cards in, and I really like them and I would prefer to use them. I did not purchase them when I got the game, but it seems like that would have been a good idea. I'm waiting for my copy of Battle of Hoth to arrive and very excited to play. I know you got an early preview. Any chance we might get a follow-up Battle of Endor? Well, I don't know off the top of my head what I'm sorry, not Fantasy Flight. This is Days of Wonder. What Days of Wonder's plans are in regard to this. But I would maybe they'll follow up with other things. But even if I did know, I would not tell you. So, do I watch any math channels on YouTube? Not necessarily. Although I was just watching. What was I watching today? A video from a guy who catches people who cheat in casinos. So there was a bunch of math involved in that. Do you think it's a slow year for the board game industry? Tariffs and other fun stuff might be influencing the pipeline. Between Gen Con and Essen Spiel, there are not many highlights. Honestly, anytime people say stuff like this, I feel like you're... And I'm not saying this in a negative way, so please don't, but it just feels very spoiled. It's like people who only have eaten at Vegas buffets now going to eat at a slightly smaller buffet. Sure, there are fewer games been released this year than there have been last year, but there's still hundreds of games. I keep track of the games I play over the course of the year. So I've played... let me pull that up and just see. I'm not going to give too much information because I like to save this for our Winter Spectacular. But I keep track of all the games that I have played. And here we go. Games review. So in 2025, of 2025 games, I played 110 so far. Actually, it's probably 120. I need to add some more to it. So 120 games, which isn't that many. But of those 120 games, I have given 16 of them an excellent. That's 16 excellent games in 1 year. What more do you want, really, right? There's just so many good games. I keep track of what my top 10 list would be at any given time. Like right now, I have 10 games here, and I'm pretty sure like the bottom 4 or 5 of these games aren't gonna make it into the final thing. But it's just so much fun. It's so much fun playing these games and having a great time. And that's not counting, I'm at 30 games that are 8 or higher and 43 games that are 7.5 or higher and 62 that are 7 and higher. So about half the games I played this year are fun. And this is me. There are still tons and tons of games I haven't even played yet that are awesome and cool looking. So I really don't feel this whole idea of, yes, it's a slower year, but is it slow? Compared to maybe the last 2 years only. There's still that many games that are coming out. Will things slow down even more? Possibly, but there's just so many good games. There just really is. Will you be sending anyone to scout out Essen for us? Well, we'll all be at, not all of us, but a good chunk of the Dice Tower will be at the Spiel Essen. We've bought our tickets. We have our booth ready. I think they're announcing the booth placement soon. Maybe they already have. I don't know. It's coming soon. And when it happens, we'll tell you where our booth will be. We'll be playing games at the booth. We'll have our merch at the booth. We'll be all over. We'll be doing blogs from Essen. It's going to be a good time. Is there a top 10 list you're excited to do that you've never done yet? Sure. There's some great 3D printed inserts for Vantage that also hold the grids with no lid. Well, okay. No lid lift. Well, we will see. Could you give more detail about the situation with pledge fulfillment for this year? I'll be sending an update out on GameFound soon, but again, remember that anyone whose pledge fulfillment was like a digital thing, like if you got a dice person drawing of you or things like that, we've contacted you. If you had a meal with us at a convention, we've been contacting you. If it's a physical pledge, well, those we said would be delivered by December. Now, my goal is to get them to you before December, but nothing has slowed that down yet. Now, there are going to be some caveats that I will talk about, some hiccups, and they're all due to tariffs that will come into play. But you should get stuff. So there's not any more real details, and when there is, when I have the details, I'll post it in GameFound. Hi, how are you? Thanks for the content. I'm curious to have your preference about Agricola or Caverna. I like Caverna better, for sure. But I am in the minority. More people prefer Agricola. A Sanctuary review is coming on Sunday of next week. So, yes, we'll be reviewing Sanctuary. Is there a genre of games you disliked many years ago and are surprised you really like now? I don't know if there's necessarily a genre, but I will say that a decade ago or so, I was not very much a fan of solo games at all, and I play them a lot more nowadays. Tom, what are your thoughts on Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship? Only asking because you weren't in that review video. Well, I was not, and I have not played the game, so I have no thoughts. If you notice, I haven't been in many of the pandemic. I like pandemic fine, but I mean, there's just tons of pandemics. So I'm not necessarily running to play these as fast as everyone else. I love Lord of the Rings, but the reason I'm not as excited about Lord of the Rings, the pandemic, Lord of the Rings, whatever it's called, Fate of the Fellowship, I just wasn't as excited about it. But the main reason for that is because I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's a great story, but there's only so many times I can play a game with this same story. Like when we play Star Wars games, sometimes they're about X-Wings fighting TIE fighters. Sometimes they're about, this and that. There's all these different things. But with Lord of the Rings, it's Frodo goes to Mount Doom and throws the ring in. That's kind of the whole focus to it. It's a great story. I love it. But as a board game, there's already games that do that, right? So I haven't played it. I might, but it's not on I still haven't played the Star Wars Pandemic either. So there's only so many games you can fit into your life. There's tons of them out there. And so I may not get to it. We'll see. I think you mentioned that you're a Brandon Sanderson fan. What's your favorite books? Way of the Kings is my favorite books from him. Has the Dice Tower Encore channel been put on the back burner? Well, more than put on the back burner, we just cut it out. What we did was we now have, we were putting in the first we did an unboxing, and I stopped doing unboxings because unboxings of games aren't great content, and it was also cluttering up the channel. And then we put them on their own channel. People were like, cool. And it just isn't great content, I think. I don't think boring unboxings, the ones I do on Tuesday, are great content either, but those get so many views. I'm like, well, they are what they are. Then we started cutting up my bigger reviews into small chunks, the ones where I do 6 short reviews or whatever, and putting them on the channel. And again, they weren't getting as much feed as they were on this one. So we figured we would just concentrate on one channel. So we just moved it back to here. Any thoughts about a top 10 things to do for a board game night? Well, pay attention. You might see something like that soon. Did I try the new edition of Warlord CCG? I have not played it yet. I have it, but I haven't played it yet. I heard a podcast talking about Steve Jobs' view of signal and noise and how highly effective people usually have a set number of things they feel they must do in a day. How many on your list today? I don't do it exactly that way. I don't have it here on me. It's in the next door room. But every Monday or Sunday, depending on what day I do it, I make a written list. I don't know why I do written instead of digital. It just feels good. I write down everything I need to do for the Dice Tower that week. And I add to it sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to do this. So I go through the schedule, So I have this big list, and then as I do the things, I check them off. I try to get as much stuff done on Monday and Tuesday as I possibly can. I like to front load my week so that way on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can be more creative and do things. At the Dice Tower, we usually have Fridays just a half day. I play games usually Friday afternoon, but also I want to relax. One of the things that I'm doing in my personal life is I'm trying not to burn out on a personal level. Not that, don't worry, I'm not like hovering on the edge of burnout, but I'm working hard to relax more. Because whenever I relax, I feel like I'm being super lazy, and I'm trying not to be, I don't want to be lazy, but I'm working hard to relax. Having a pool at my new house has been my focal point of that. I'm in that pool almost every day, relaxing there, but just relaxing home with my family, that has helped a lot. But when I work hard, I try to get things done. That's why like I said, I made that checklist. I check things off. I've already checked off 4 things. Well, this is the 4th. Doing the Q&A. It's the 4th today. But that's what I do. I'm not saying that's what's best for everybody, but it helps me out to have a focus, get these things done. Did you get a chance to play Clank Catacombs new expansion? It is not out yet, so no. Which staff member appreciates the game type that you like the least and takes a review of them off your hands for you? We kind of spread out on that one. I mean, there's no like specific genre. It's more that people are covering what they want to cover. You'll notice I still do a lot of negative reviews, so it's not like I'm being covered from not reviewing games that I enjoy. Have you started researching J games for the next list? Well, that's not going to happen for a while, because this week, the top 100 games of all time from Chris, Wendy, Joey, and Camilla are happening. So that's going to take, for a few weeks, the slots of our top 10 lists. But J, I don't know. I'm not particularly worried about it. If there's a letter that's really hard, then it might be just a shortened list where one person gives a list and other people give entries on it. We'll see. Personally, I think Fate of the Fellowship captures the story better than 90% of other Lord of the Rings games out there. Sure, but like I said, it's just, again, it's the same story. And I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. War of the Ring already did a really good job of it. How can I say which name I would like you to shout out? This is the first year I backed shout out, and I got no message about it. It should have been in the, when you filled out the backer kit thing, it should have had a spot for you to do that. If not, email kenny@dicetower.com. Hey, Tom, have you had any promising new board game designers in the past 2 years? There's a plethora of new board game designers. I cannot think of one off the top of my head without maybe not calling out other ones. There's just a lot of great ones. We just call them out as they happen. Are there any board game conventions within driving distance of Las Vegas besides West and World Series of Board Gaming? Well, I don't know how far it is from Vegas to go to St. Louis, but that's Geekway to the west. I believe SaltCon is another convention that you could get to. KublaCon, maybe. There's different conventions in the west. Not many, though, that's for sure. Are you still getting small trinkets sent from the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter? Has all that stuff been delivered? I'm pretty sure that was all delivered. If you back the Words of Radiance Backer Kit campaign, the Secret Project 5, that was probably sent to the old address, though. I might not ever get it. How do you like Fort Myers? Fantastic. I love it here. I have family living there, but found that they have a huge shortage of local game stores there. Well, spoiler alert, there's a huge shortage of good local game stores in, I would say, probably 80% of America. There are amazing game stores, don't get me wrong. There are amazing game stores all over the place, but they're not everywhere. And I've been to many cities and places that do not have great local game stores. I've only been to 2 of the stores here in Fort Myers, and I can't remember the names of them. I went to one that was essentially a magic shop. It seemed nice, but it was a magic shop. Then I went to one that was a board game store, like everything type store. They didn't talk to me when I came in. They were having a conversation at the counter. They were still having it when I left. And I didn't run in and out. I looked through the board games. They had a pinball game there. I played the pinball game. Went around, looked at, I think it was comics on the other side of the store. They never talked to me. That's just how it is. But to be fair, I don't know that I care. I know it sounds bad, and I'm very privileged that I have this gigantic gaming library here, but I can play games. And while there may not be some good gaming stores in Fort Myers, there is an amazing, fantastic, terrific, wonderful gaming group here. It is the best. It is such a great group. I did love playing with the folks in Miami, don't get me wrong, but there is even more people here to game with, and they're all just marvelous. With all the cons each year, what month is the most relaxing for the Dice Tower? That's tricky. I don't know. April, May, maybe? Tom, what are your top 3 Summoner Wars expansion decks? Well, you're going to have to wait a few weeks, but I've already recorded the video of my top 10 Summoner Wars factions. That's going to be being posted, I think, like 2 weeks from today or something like that. So just keep an eye out. That is recorded. It is coming. Will we see a mini fall Halloween spectacular? Highly unlikely. There might be something coming up, but I don't think that's going to happen. Why don't we hear from Fantasy Flight anymore? You mean like them calling you personally on the phone, like, hey, this is Fantasy Flight, or just announcements? Fantasy Flight has 3 very lucrative lines. They have Star Wars Unlimited, they have Marvel Champions, and they have the Arkham Horror card game. And they have other things. They just announced another expansion for Twilight Imperium. But those 3 things, if you're interested in one of those 3 things, they're very communicative. There's lots of information that they talk about. Star Wars Unlimited, if you play that game, or Marvel Champions. Those 3 lines are incredibly successful. I've not seen a new Leviathan Wild expansion. Hey, Tom, outside of Hobbit games, what are some of your favorite games? Start introducing little ones into gaming. Again, I'll do the same old, I'm not introducing little kids into gaming. I just play games with little kids. That's a difference, right? I'm not trying to be like, look, kids, there's this wild, wonderful world of gaming. They'll figure that out. I just play games with them. And there is just a ton of them out there. I'm not pointing at any, and the problem is kids games go in and out of print so quickly. So just look up the best kids games of the year, look up kids games on Board Game Geek and some of the highest ranked ones, and I review them as I come across them. Is there anything that you can point to that got you in the hobby originally? Well, Graham, I have a very long answer for you on that one. It's called History of the Dice Tower. Look up the videos of that, and I go through that in very exquisite detail. Have you read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? I have not. What are your thoughts on River Glass Valley sitting behind you? I'm okay with it. It's not, it's a game. Well, it's on this side. Games aren't going to hurt me. But I think, are you asking what are my opinions of the game? I did a review of it. What's my favorite popcorn flavor? I think I never thought I would say this, but I think it's the cheddar cheese caramel mix. It sounded terrible when I first heard about it. Like, why would you mix the cheddar cheese and caramel together? But that combo is pretty good. Is there anything you're really looking forward to playing at the retreat? No, not particularly. I'll be, maybe in a week, I'll be making a list of games that I want to play there. I haven't thought a whole lot about it. Are we close to enough games released to make a top 10 sandbox games? I'll probably wait another year or 2 on that one. There's not a lot of them, right? And pure sandbox games where you can do kind of whatever you want, there's very few of those. I might be able to do 10, but that would be a struggle. So we'll see. Any underutilized themes in board gaming you'd like to see used more? No. I get tired of the same old themes all the time. But things change. There's if you're interested in a theme, there's probably a board game out there. It's not like I wish more I just like to see different stuff. I'm not so interested in a particular theme being made. I just want different ones. Trader Joe's has a great honey popcorn. Oh, that sounds good. Butter pecan or cherry amaretto ice cream. I'm not a big fan of nuts in ice cream, so not very useful. VJ says, cheese and caramels are any two flavors Americans won't mix. Well, there's lots of flavors we won't mix, obviously, because those are the two flavors that are mixed. I don't know why it has to be like a negative trait of Americans. We don't mix salt and sugar in our popcorn in the theaters, but we don't then criticize people who do. Well, maybe we do, but I don't think we should. No, I mean, is there any two flavors? Yeah, I don't have sour cream and mix that with butter pecan. You know, I don't know. It's a weird mix. Sometimes weird mixes work well. One weird mix that America does that the rest of the world does not do is mixing chocolate and peanut butter. That's not really a thing overseas. It's hard to find a Reese's peanut butter cup anywhere but America. But it's delicious, at least to me. Let's see here. Should we expect to see an Everdell Silver Frost review soon? We didn't get Everdell Silver Frost, so probably not. Have you played or checked out the newer Puerto Rico 1897? I've seen it. It looks amazing, but I haven't gotten it yet. Thoughts on Awakened Realms deluxifying all the old Euros? Well, they've deluxified a grand total of 2 and have a third on the way. That's it. That's not all of them. There are some games, if they pick to do a deluxified version of it, they're like, we're going to do Prince of Florence. I'd be like, really? So who knows? I don't have a problem with them doing it. You don't have to get them. As you run different RPGs from time to time, will you make a top 5 or top 10 RPGs you played around? I haven't done even remotely enough to be able to do that. What's my favorite game mechanic? I don't know. That changes. I think we did a top 10 game mechanics, so you could check out my favorite mechanisms from that list. At any given point, it might change. So I don't know off the top of my head what it might be. There's a lot of things I like, playing cards simultaneously, the ratchet track mechanism, but I don't know which one is my favorite. Who do you think will be the next Dice Tower employee to design a game? Well, I think Mike's game's coming out very soon. Any plan shaping up for Essen this year? Yeah, like I said, we're working on that currently. We already have a lot of things planned for Essen. We're just putting it together. Will I be doing a top 10 factions for Summoner Wars? Yes. Some of you are asking these. You got to go back farther in the video. Who are my favorite Avengers? Well, Captain America, for sure. Who else do I like on the Avengers? I've always liked Captain America and Hawkeye a lot, and I'm talking comics here. Hawkeye always gives Captain America such a pain in the neck. I liked when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were Avengers. I liked that kind of run, and I like Scott Lang. Oh, poor Scott Lang as an Ant-Man. Did you go through some unseen advantage cards to see what else is there because you're a reviewer, or would you do that anyway? Well, maybe. It's because I'm a reviewer for sure. Thank you. You said it was nice to see us at Gen Con. I appreciate that. I bought raspberry sour potato chips yesterday. Sweden might not have the mix the U.S. have, but we also lack shame and potato chip flavors. I would try raspberry sour potato chips. That sounds good. How many times do you back a game on Kickstarter and get a review copy early? Yeah, more than I would prefer. They often come very close together at the same time when that happens. Now you've had to review games from 2 of your colleagues. How do you approach reviewing something like that? Well, like I just did. I play the game, I give an honest opinion, and I give enough caveats to sink a battleship. And that's that. It's not the most simple and easy thing to do, but it is just part of life. How's Roy and his anime shop been doing? Oh, you can follow him on Facebook. It seems to be doing really well. It's actually, I think, half anime and half Magic the Gathering shop now at this point in time. Seems like they're having a lot of Magic tournaments there, but very good last I heard. Good morning from New Zealand. Hello, Family Showdown. Hope you are doing well also. Have I seen K-pop Demon Hunters? I saw 5 minutes of it, something or other, and I was very, very not interested. Everyone here in my gaming group tells me it's amazing, but it's called K-pop Demon Hunters, so I went to the experts, and my daughter said it was great, and my son said it was okay at best. So I believed him. Is there any new way you would like to see the hobby fostered for further proliferation? Who do you think should be responsible for supporting or investing in it? I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, the hobby is growing on its own, but what do you mean by supporting or investing in it? It is a hobby that people buy games from publishers. That's how the support happens. I don't know what you're asking. Curious if and how you use AI or automation at Dice Tower. Do you have workflows behind the scenes to do mundane PC tasks? By PC, I assume you mean Mac, because that's what we use here. There's a bit of that behind the scenes, I guess, when it comes to that sort of thing. I don't know. I know that it's involved with some of. I don't use it like deliberately on tasks, but I'm not doing a lot of those tasks either. Does pineapple belong on pizza? I mean, you can put it on pizza. I think it's a good topping. Do you have any favorite board game artists? Yes. It is Vincent Dutray. Did you catch the new Superman? Yes, I like the new Superman a lot. What's your favorite incarnation of Superman? Oh, the animated Batman and Superman series is probably my favorite. I like the new one fine. Have you got a chance to play Marvel Rivals? These games always mix themselves up in my head. Marvel Rivals. Which one is Marvel Rivals? There's Star Wars Rivals. Is there a Marvel Rivals? It's not showing up on BGG, so I don't really know what we're talking about. Sorry. Is there like a Marvel Rivals set coming out like Star Wars Rivals? I don't know. I know that Dice Tower coverage brought Comic Hunters to international awareness. I got a copy and found a production quality lacking. Was the original Brazilian version equally rough around the edges? No, it wasn't that bad, but the bad quality from Comic Hunters was from Spin Master, because Spin Master is the ones who actually produced the game, and they were the ones who really cut corners on quality there. It is what it is. Steven asked me a question that people ask me all the time. What percentage of my gaming time is spent playing the games you want to play versus games you need to evaluate for the Dice Tower? I would say like 98%. But that's only because if I was not reviewing games for the Dice Tower, I would still be trying to play these new games because I'd be interested in them. I just would be. I'm always interested in trying new games. I just have a lot of fun doing that. I go back and play old games a lot. Just a couple of Tuesdays ago here at Gaming Night, that was all I did was just play old games. I played Race for the Galaxy and Dominion and St. Petersburg and things like that. They're just great old games. I have a great time playing them. But when I play new games, I have a great time doing it. This Saturday, we had a game day here, and I think every game was new that I played, and every game I thought was the best one was okay. The rest, I thought they were either okay or not so great. And I had a great time. It was fun. It was fantastic. Doesn't bother me at all. Was there a game from Gen Con that you played again just because you liked it? I guess I don't understand that question. I always play games again if I like them. Not always, but I mean often. Any game that I think is fantastic, I play again if I can. Marvel Rivals is an Overwatch clone. Oh, it's a video game thing. Sorry. That makes more sense. I Don't know why I was missing that. A PvP shooter in a Marvel universe. Okay. Well, I don't play very many video games. I pick one. Video games, I'm the very opposite of the way I am with board games. I don't keep playing new video games all the time. I keep playing the same one. I've been playing Skyrim now for like a month, and I'm still playing Skyrim. Over the weekend, I finished a quest. I went around and found some new stuff. Got killed. Now I'm doing some of the expansion stuff in Skyrim. I just kind of wander around and go from place to place, having a great time. I'm about to fight one of the hardest enemies in Skyrim. I think Hrothgar or whatever, the ice giant. I fought him last night and then died, and I was like, you know what? It's time for bed. So I went to bed. But yeah. So I don't play a lot of new games. What game from your childhood do you think influenced you the most? Well, there's a lot of different games. And again, I'm going to keep pointing you to the history of the Dice Tower, probably episode 1, because I talk about that a lot. But there's a lot of games I played from my childhood that had things to do. Have you played every game that's currently on the top 100? I'm assuming you mean the Board Game Geek top 100. Well, that changes all the time. So let's see. I know. Okay, so first of all, the answer is no. I know I have it. But let's see how many I have not played. I have not played the second edition of Eclipse. I played Eclipse, but not the second edition. So that's 1. I haven't played Great Western Trail second edition. I don't think either of these should count, but I'll count them. 2. Sky Team, I've not played the final copy. I played a prototype of it way back in the day, and I didn't enjoy it. That's 3. Kanban, I've not played. That's 4. Pax Mirror, I haven't played. That's 5. Yeah, I know I should play Pax Mirror. I haven't. On Mars is 6. Age of Innovation is 7. Lisboa is 8. See a kind of a sort of a trend here. Blood in the Clock Tower is 9. Great Western Trail New Zealand is 10. There you go. So 10 of the top 100 games I have not played. And if we go to the top 200, I have not played Voidfall or Final Girl. I should get around on Final Girl. ANZ War Eternal. Well, that shouldn't count. I really wish Board Game Geek would delete and not allow the second editions of things to be in the thing, or if the second edition's in, the first edition's not, but I don't know how they can fix it. Vinhos, Iberia, which, as we found out, starts with an I. Nucleum, Too Many Bones Undertow, specifically. Unmatched Cobble and Fog. Endeavor Age of Sail. So that is 9. So I've played 181 of the top 200 games. Now, as you keep going down, it's going to be less and less going through these. But I've played more than most, I think. Not more than all. I'm sure someone's played all top 100 games. Do you have any hot takes on Lightning Train that you could share? I don't know what you mean by hot take. I played the game. I enjoy the game. We'll do a review on it at some point. Regarding the investing, I was thinking how you said friendly local game stores are rarer. Yeah, I want to be clear because I don't need people yelling at me in a sense. There are great friendly local game stores all over the place. I'm just saying that there are chunks and swaths of areas that do not have one in it. Miami does not have a good local game store. And I'll even go so far to say Fort Lauderdale doesn't either. That's millions of people without a good local game store. And then in the Fort Myers area, so far I haven't found a good game store. Now, there might be some up in Tampa and Orlando and Jacksonville, but then if you live in all these little cities in between, you don't have one. So you said since all gamers are not charismatic, is there another new way you think great games can meet people? Now, yeah, it's called the internet. That is how most people are learning games these days, not from local game stores. I don't care what people tell you. This was a thing 20 years ago, but it is not the case today. Where you say, how did you learn a game? Well, I went to my local game store, stopped in, and played a game. That almost never happens these days. People go to local game stores, but they usually go there because they're looking for more games. But the way people are being introduced, a lot of it's happening in colleges where college people are showing them, but also people invite them to house. Some people are finding a lot of it's from the internet. We're going and watching reviews. I know it's very self-serving to say that. But people are learning about games in a myriad of ways. So I don't know that there's a new way for this to happen, because then it would happen. I'm not necessarily even trying to make it happen. My goal anymore is not the proliferation of board games. It really isn't. People are playing board games and more people learn them. I just want to show you the best ones. That's always been my goal, is to tell you about games that are fun. Even if I hate them and you think they're fun, I have succeeded. And that's our goal. And also, a secondary goal is we're trying to bring entertainment and joy to people's lives through our channel. But my goal, the proliferation of board game, is no longer part of it. I don't run Dice Tower conventions to grow board gaming. I have Dice Tower conventions so people who already enjoy gaming can come and have the best possible time that they can. Are there any games about government that aren't about getting elected? Oh, there's plenty of them. One of the most popular ones that come out in recent years is Hegemony, which has the government in it. And they're like making a bill into a law. I don't know if there's one specifically about that, but there are a lot of different games that have to do with that. Bob Ross was huge. Would you consider having a Dice Tower painting session that we may learn? What? I don't know. Chris says that the Brazilian production was not that great. Maybe, but I think it was better than the Spin Master, but I don't know. Are there any popular games people might be surprised to hear that you've never played? Well, that's interesting. So let's go back to Board Game Geek again, and this time we'll sort games by the number of voters. And let's see the most popular game, the one that has the most voters that I have not played. Now, in this case, as I scroll down here, the top 100, I've played them all. A man of the people, or at least the populace. Here we go. The most popular game, 32,400 people have played this game and rated it on Board Game Geek. That I have not played is Secret Hitler. I've not played Secret Hitler. The theme has no interest to me. And the next highest one is, well, I already mentioned it, 23,423 people, Sky Team. So in the top 200 popular games, there are 2 games I have not played. Let's keep going. Page 3. Number 3 is... Oh, no, I have played this one. I haven't rated it. Ooh, I'm giving it a rating of 4. I really disliked it. 19,552 people. Deep Sea Adventure, but I have finally played it. I don't like it at all. Oh, here we go. The next one, 17,478 people played Sea Salt and Pepper. There's no excuse for this one. I just haven't played it. My wife played it at a convention, and she hated it. And then we found out later that the person who taught it to her wrong. So we're going to have to go back and replay it. Speaking of that, my wife recently came for a game night here and played, what was that game from Wise Wizard? Getting things mixed up here. So, Star Realms, Wise Wizard Games, Robot Quest Arena. She played Robot Quest Arena, and I have not seen her enjoy a game that much in like a decade. I would never even want to talk to her. I would have thought she hated it. Goes to show, my wife, of who I've been known for 30 years, and I was just way off base on that. She's like, I like deck building games. I was like, yes? And combat games? So this is exciting. I'll play it with her and Jimmy at home. We'll have a good time with that one. But yeah, she really liked that. I don't know. I'm going off. Fox in the Forest, 17,415. I've not played this one either. And then PAX Premier. So in the top 300 most played games, I've played all of them except like 5. And after that, we start hitting some of the ones that are on the top 100 that I already mentioned. The Grizzled, I've never played. That has a lot of people who've played that. Hive Pocket. Well, I played Hive, so that's the same thing. Star Wars Outer Rim I've never played. I know I should play it, but I just never got around to it. And Skull King. I've not played Skull King. Okay. Now I'm going to get all kinds of people saying, you got to play these games. Yeah, well, right back at you. I got the other, 300 that you haven't played. All right, anyway. That was a fun exercise. My favorite ice cream flavor, well, there's all kinds of flavors that I like that are weird flavors. I am amazed and astonished at the number of ice cream shops in Fort Myers. I'm not exaggerating. There's at least 20 to 30 ice cream parlors around here. It's crazy. But of normal flavors, it's chocolate chip cookie dough. I just really like that flavor. But I will always try some unique flavor. My favorite topping is caramel. So if there's a strong caramel flavor, I like that. We did our top 3 flavors one time, and the gooey butter cake and the cinnamon twirl from Jenny's ice cream were 2 of my 3 favorite flavors, and they really are my favorite flavors. Those 2, and they switch. The cinnamon one is probably higher than the gooey butter cake, but those 2 flavors are astoundingly good, and I love them. If you could play a game with anyone or any group that you haven't, who would it be? Well, some people I haven't played with before. I'm okay with that. I like playing with new people. I don't have specific people I'm hunting the game with. What game played created an unforgettable memory you still cherish today? Tons of games. And again, I hate to keep pointing people, but I've done top 10 game experiences. That would be on there. Let's see here. Was watching a video about the old Fantasy Flight game lineup. Feels so sad that they're only doing LCGs now. Well, they're also doing trading card game, and they're doing what you would call it, Twilight Imperium, and they're still selling a lot of their games like Cosmic Encounter. But I get it. I get what you're saying. But I'm not as sad because these things happen. Companies go out of business, but these great games are still, they're being made. They're just being made by other people. Plaid Hat makes adventure games. There's lots of cool games out there being made. So it just doesn't bother me as much. What are your thoughts on games that are trying to be eco-friendly for their packaging? There have been several where the cards in the box. So this is like a third rail type thing. I don't care about the eco-friendly packaging in games because I don't plan to throw the game away even if I hate it. On the outside, without the plastic wrap, the sticker thing, I hate those stickers. I wish there was a better way to do it than stickers. Some people, I guess, are wrapping them in paper. That might work. Let's see here. Do you ever pass up a game because of theme due to conviction with your faith? Yes. Who at the Dice Tower would you say is the most critical of board games? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, we're all critical of board games in different ways. If you mean who dislikes game the most, I don't know what that means, right? Who's the most critical? We're all trying to be critical in our own ways. Some people have a lower tolerance for quote-unquote bad games than others, but I don't know that anyone is more critical than anyone else. Will the Dice Tower do miniature painting videos? We've done them in the past. Choose one, says Gun. For the rest of your life, you can only play your 10s. For the rest of your life, you can never play your 10s again. I would pick the second one. I wouldn't even hesitate. Oh, I love my 10s. The games I've given a 10 to. But I can live playing the 9.5s and below. A gazillion games versus I've given 10s to like 30. I'd be okay with that. How difficult is it to keep coming up with ideas for top 10 lists? It's not that hard for a couple reasons. I mean, I'll never run out of ideas. I come up with new ideas all the time, but I also have years now. We've been doing them for well over a decade of top 10 lists. So I'm like, we need to redo this list because so many games have come out between then and now. So between the redone ones and then coming up with new ideas, there's always something. And at some point, we could just redo them forever, right? Because there's so many lists that need to be redone. There's so many top 10s that I think about. I think someone just mentioned something about a 5-player game one, and we haven't done that in years. And I was like, well, that would be a good one to redo. And I don't know. I have a whole, anytime someone sends me an idea for top 10, and you can, I stick it in a folder and I look through that every once in a while. And I also have a whole document that I made up with top 10 list ideas. And we're not even close to running out. Is there an IP that's an instant no or yes for me? There's no IP that's an instant yes. I don't think that at all. There's IPs that I'm definitely interested in looking it over, especially if it's an IP that does an intellectual property, by the way, is what we're talking about, folks. Especially if it's one that doesn't have a board game before, I'm interested in that. As for no, oh yeah, I'm sure. Anything I dislike, I don't know if it's an instant no, but let's say they made Twilight, the vampire movie series, anything. I would not be interested at all. The Days of Our Life, actually I might be interested in that just because I'd be like, they made a game about a soap opera? What's on with that? We're going to open a shop called the Ice Cream Tower? Not in Fort Myers. There's already enough good ice cream here. How difficult / easy was it to set up multiple location moves in the Dice Tower group to all move at once to the same location? Just take that word easy and cross it off, scribble it out, and delete it from your brain. It was not easy at all. But we did it. Hooray. Do you think that Fantasy Flight Games will do a reprint of Imperial Assault? I don't know. I've always wondered on that one. They redid their system, Descent, and they made Descent the third edition. Was that third or fourth? I think third edition. I get the editions mixed up sometimes. They did the Descent third edition, and it must have done well enough that they made a second box for it. I played a ton of it. I was not on board with it. It was just a very different style. I don't think that style would work for Star Wars. I also don't know what the licensing was for that because they had to license that through someone just like we did when I worked with Arcane Wonders to get the Marvel, the comics game. The licensing had to go through Spin Master. That's why Spin Master was involved. And for a while, Fantasy Flight did not have the license for board games with Star Wars. Now, that's definitely not changed. That must have changed now because we obviously saw the Star Wars Battle of Hoth come out from Days of Wonder. And I don't know behind the scenes. I would have to ask higher-ups, and they don't have to tell me if they have licensing deals or not or how the licensing deals work. So I don't know if it would happen in the future or not. I do think that the sales of that game seem to go down as more and more stuff was added. Because it's a campaign, it's trickier to have that extra stuff in. It's not like just throw it in the game, but you're playing through campaigns. So, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of BGA solo games, learn games I bought. It's hard to go back to the physical game with setups and ease of scoring. Does that help the designer publishers? Oh, sure. BGA doesn't hurt anyone. The more people playing the game, the more people know about it, the more people will buy it. My favorite thing to do outside of gaming right now is go in my swimming pool. Do you have a favorite in the Race for the Galaxy series? For sure, Race for the Galaxy. Any video ideas you've had that did surprisingly well poor? Well, that you can easily check by just taking the Dice Tower and sorting our videos out by views, and you'll see which ones did well and which ones did not. Is it easier to prep and film a top 10 or a game overview? It's different. A game overview is harder for me personally because I'm doing it myself. Top 10 is way easier, but I'm not saying it's way easier because we have Andrew putting the PowerPoint together and other people putting, so there's more people working on a top 10. So just sliding through. I'm not answering every question. Do I ever miss writing reviews? No, I don't. It was a lot of work, and I love to talk more. I can put more into the inflection in my voice than I can writing. I'm not a great writer, as anyone who's read my reviews will tell you. There will be an argument that many people make that I'm not a good speaker either. And I don't think I am a great speaker. I just think I'm not boring. That's always been my goal. I don't know that I'm the best. I'm not a wordsmith. I know a lot of words. I know more words than most people because I read so much. But because I read, I mispronounce so many words. So I'll know the word, but I don't use it because I'll say it stupidly, or I do say it stupidly, and people mock me for my pronunciation, which is fair. But my goal when I was a teacher, when I preach, and when I do reviews, is always to be interesting. You can disagree with me, and people very much do. But my goal is that you are never bored listening to me. And with writing, that's harder for me to get across. When it comes to talking, I can do that. Speaking of top 10s, have you or anyone online made a database of all the Dice Tower lists? If you see, you can search Arc and see every list it ranked in. I feel like our website has a bit of that. I don't know how good it is. That would be a fun thing to have, and I would love that. I would love to have an Excel document or Google, Sheets document that had every top 10 list that we have done, and I would say sans the audio ones, because the audio ones we did, hundreds and hundreds of lists on the audio too, but I don't mind. I don't need that duplication, but have a list and when that top 10 was published. That could be done. I can have someone go through the entire channel and you just, search for top 10s maybe and just write down each one and when they were done. That'd be pretty useful. You have to search for the live ones and the non-live ones. That'd be a pretty cool document. I would consider doing it myself, but that would be a considerable amount of time. But if I had such a document, then I would keep it updated with new ones. That's a good idea. I like that idea. It would be an easy way because I normally just go online and look through the channel for them, but having a list like that would be pretty cool. Board Game Geek is such an incredible gaming resource, better than most communities for other hobby worldwide. Do you think board games as an industry would have boomed without BGG? I don't know. I do not want to put down them at all. I don't think that Dice Tower would be where it is today without Board Game Geek. But if Board Game Geek can happen, I'm assuming some other website would have come up. But I would have been better or worse. Well, we'll never know. We're just thankful for what Board Game Geek has done. Crokinole equivalent of $400 for entry point in my country. Is it worth the investment? If you like Crokinole, yes. A good Crokinole board is something you'll have for the rest of your life. So think about it that way. What's a good welcoming game to teach deck building? One to teach the concept before then moving on to Heat, Eldorado, or Clank. Abandon all artichokes. Well, isn't there the deck building game about camping? What is that one called? Like a really simple deck building? Even base Dominion is not that particularly. Star Realms, probably, the little box of Star Realms is pretty easy to teach and play. All right, let me see if I'll just look for a question. Have you ever deliberately tried to make a moment happen to get into the year? No. Sometimes we'll laugh about something, but I don't try to make a moment happen. That doesn't work. Who's the best cook, worst cook here? That I don't know. Why would I, even if I knew the worst cook, which I don't, why would I say that? That'd be weird. I let people themselves criticize their own cooking. Have you tried Cape Coral for friendly old games? So I'm including Cape Coral in with Fort Myers. I have not tried Naples, so I don't know what's down there yet. How How many of the monochrome hat, glasses, shirt sets do you have? I don't know. And some of the glasses I have do not match the shirts the way I would like them to. But, okay. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more questions, and I'm glad more came up there at the end. I do appreciate that. Thank you all for watching. This is the only live thing I think today. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing a live game in the morning. Just we'll play it live type situation. We try it out. And then in the afternoon, you will see the beginning of the top 100. I hope you're excited about that. I think that's going to be cool. See some great games there, because even 100 to 91 is fantastic. So we're glad to be getting that off the ground, and we are glad that you enjoy our videos and have joined us this week. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will see you all until next time. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.